In the endless expanse of space, the Starship Endeavour abruptly exited warp, triggering a cascade of alarms and tossing the crew into immediate action. Captain Jack Morrison, with his weathered face and piercing blue eyes, quickly assessed the situation. His Australian accent cut through the chaos, commanding order. "Report!" Jack barked, his voice steady despite the turmoil. Sarah, his trusted first mate, responded swiftly. "Sensors picked up an anomaly, Captain. We've stumbled upon an ancient alien derelict. It's massive and completely lifeless." Jack's interest was piqued. An opportunity to discover something extraordinary and potentially save Earth from its ecological crisis. "Prepare a boarding party," he ordered, already envisioning the possibilities. As they approached the derelict vessel, its sheer size became apparent. The ship was a behemoth, a relic from a long-forgotten era. Its exterior was covered in strange symbols and signs of battle scars. The boarding party, consisting of Jack, Sarah, and 2 other crew members, suited up and prepared for the unknown. The airlock hissed open, revealing a dark, silent corridor. The team's footsteps echoed ominously as they advanced, flashlights cutting through the gloom. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, each member acutely aware of the significance of their discovery. "Stay close and keep your eyes peeled," Jack cautioned, his grip tightening on his plasma rifle. They navigated through the labyrinthine passageways, encountering remnants of an advanced alien civilization. Strange artifacts and technology hinted at the ship's once great occupants. Despite the ship's desolate state, an unshakable feeling of being watched pervaded the air. In the heart of the derelict, they found it, a chamber filled with shimmering, cosmic spice. The substance glowed with an otherworldly light, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The air was thick with its intoxicating aroma, a mix of sweet and metallic that made the hair on the back of their necks stand up. "Jack, look at this," Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with awe as she held a sample. "This could be the breakthrough we need." Jack nodded, his mind racing with the implications. If the spice was as powerful as it seemed, it could be the key to saving Earth. Yet, a nagging doubt gnawed at him. "We need to be cautious. We don't know what we're dealing with here." As they collected the samples, a sudden blaring alarm startled them. Jack's communicator crackled to life. "Captain, we have incoming. An unidentified vessel is approaching fast." "Pirates," Jack muttered, recognizing the pattern. "Everyone, back to the ship. Now!" They hurried back through the corridors, the weight of the spice samples heavy in their packs. The sense of urgency escalated as they raced against time. The Endeavour shuddered as it prepared for an emergency departure, the alien pirates hot on their trail. The crew managed to board just as the first shots were fired. The ship's shields flickered under the assault. "Get us out of here, Sarah," Jack commanded. The Endeavour launched into warp, narrowly escaping the pirates' clutches. The ship trembled under the strain, but the crew's relief was palpable. They had the spice, but now they were being hunted. Back in the relative safety of warp space, Jack gathered his crew. "We need to understand this spice and its potential. But first, we need to stay ahead of those pirates." Sarah nodded, her eyes reflecting both determination and concern. "We'll analyze the samples and prepare for whatever comes next." As they set to work, the magnitude of their discovery began to sink in. The spice held the promise of salvation, but its true nature remained a mystery. Jack knew they had only scratched the surface of its potential and its dangers. The Endeavour hurtled through warp space, its engines straining under the pressure of their hasty departure. In the command center, Jack Morrison's mind raced as he considered their precarious situation. The cosmic spice they had retrieved was both a blessing and a curse. They had narrowly escaped the alien pirates, but it was clear they were not safe yet. "Captain, the ship's systems are stable for now, but we can't keep this up forever," Sarah reported, her fingers flying over the control panel. "We need to find a place to regroup and assess the situation." Jack nodded. "Plot a course to the nearest uninhabited system. We need time to analyze this spice and figure out our next move." The Endeavour emerged from warp space into the orbit of a desolate planet, its barren surface a stark contrast to the bustling life on Earth. The crew set to work immediately, setting up a temporary lab to examine the spice. As the scientists delved into their analysis, Jack gathered his senior officers for a briefing. We need to understand the full potential and risks of this spice. It's our best chance to save Earth, but we can't ignore the dangers. Dr. Eliza Harper, the ship's lead scientist, spoke up. Preliminary tests show that the spice has remarkable properties. It enhances cognitive functions, accelerates healing, and even heightens sensory perception. However, we've also noticed some concerning side effects, increased aggression and hallucinations. Jack frowned. We need to be cautious. The last thing we need is the crew turning on each other. Let's focus on controlled, small-scale tests. While the scientists worked, Jack couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The memory of the alien pirates lingered in his mind. They were relentless and wouldn't stop until they had the spice. His instincts told him that danger was still close. Captain, incoming transmission, Sarah interrupted his thoughts. It's a message from the pirates. They demand we surrender the spice or face annihilation. Jack's jaw tightened. They're not giving us any choice. We need to prepare for a confrontation. Strengthen our defenses and ready the crew for battle. As the crew braced for the inevitable, Jack took a moment to check on the scientists. He found Dr. Harper deep in concentration, her eyes fixed on a microscope. Any new findings, Eliza? She looked up, a hint of excitement in her eyes. The spice is even more potent than we thought. It could revolutionize medicine, energy production, you name it. But the psychological effects are unpredictable. One of our test subjects started experiencing severe paranoia after just a small dose. Jack sighed. We can't let this fall into the wrong hands. We need to find a way to use it safely, but first, we have to survive the pirates' attack. Just then, the ship's alarms blared, signaling the arrival of the enemy. Jack rushed to the command center, where the view screen displayed the pirate ship emerging from hyperspace. Battle stations. Jack ordered, his voice calm but authoritative. The crew sprang into action, manning their posts and preparing for the imminent fight. The pirate ship fired the first salvo, their lasers streaking towards the Endeavour. The ship's shields absorbed the impact, but Jack knew they couldn't withstand the assault for long. Return fire, he commanded. The Endeavour's cannons roared to life, striking the pirate vessel. The two ships exchanged volleys, each hit shaking the ship and testing the crew's resolve. Despite the chaos, Jack's focus remained unshaken. In the heat of battle, Sarah's voice cut through the noise. Captain, we've detected a weak point in their shields. If we can target it, we might be able to disable their weapons. Jack's eyes narrowed. Coordinate with the gunnery team and take that shot. Moments later, the Endeavour's cannons fired a precise barrage at the designated spot. The pirate ship shuddered, its weapons going dark. A cheer erupted from the crew, but Jack knew the fight wasn't over. Prepare for boarding action, he ordered. We need to secure that ship and ensure they can't pursue us any further. As the Endeavour closed in on the crippled pirate vessel, Jack led the boarding party. They stormed the enemy ship, encountering fierce resistance. The pirates fought with desperation, their madness fueled by the spice. In the midst of the chaos, Jack confronted the pirate leader, a hulking alien with fiery eyes. Surrender, and we'll spare your crew, Jack demanded. The pirate leader sneered, lunging at Jack with a blade. Jack sidestepped, disarming his opponent with a swift, practiced move. It's over, Jack said, securing the pirate with restraints. The pirate ship fell silent as the last of the resistance was subdued. Jack's crew worked quickly to disable the ship's systems and gather any valuable intel. As they returned to the Endeavour, Jack allowed himself a moment of relief. We did it, Sarah said, her voice tinged with exhaustion. But we can't stay here. We need to keep moving. Jack nodded. Set a course for the next system. We need to stay ahead of any more threats. The Endeavour emerged from warp space into a volatile sector of the galaxy, a place known for its unpredictable gravitational anomalies and rogue asteroids. Jack Morrison stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the chaotic space outside. The battle with the pirates had been a temporary victory, but he knew they would not be safe for long. "Status report," Jack demanded, his voice firm. Sarah, ever reliable, responded promptly. "All systems are operational, Captain. However, the stress from the previous engagement has left our shields weakened. We need time to make full repairs." Jack nodded, considering their options. "We need a secure location to regroup and repair. Plot a course to the nearest asteroid belt. We'll use it for cover while we assess the spice and prepare for the next steps." As the Endeavour navigated towards the asteroid belt, the crew worked tirelessly to strengthen their defenses and analyze the cosmic spice. Jack convened a meeting with Dr. Eliza Harper and the senior officers in the ship's conference room. "Eliza, what have we learned about the spice?" Jack asked, his tone serious. Dr. Harper adjusted her glasses, her expression a mix of excitement and concern. "The spice's potential is staggering, Captain. It enhances cognitive functions and physical capabilities significantly. However, prolonged exposure is proving to be a double-edged sword. We're seeing increased aggression and severe paranoia in test subjects." Jack frowned, contemplating the implications. "We need to control these effects. If the spice is going to save Earth, we can't afford these side effects. Can you isolate the beneficial properties?" Eliza nodded. "We're working on it, but it'll take time. We need more data and, unfortunately, more samples." Just as the conversation shifted towards their strategy, the ship's alarms blared once more. Sarah's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, we've detected multiple ships on an intercept course. It's the pirates. They're back." Jack's face hardened. "They found us faster than I anticipated. All hands to battle stations. We need to defend the Endeavour at all costs." The bridge buzzed with activity as the crew prepared for another engagement. The asteroid belt provided some cover, but navigating through it while under attack would be challenging. Jack took his place at the helm, ready to lead his crew through the impending fight. The pirate ships emerged from the shadows of the asteroids, their weapons already firing. The Endeavour's shields flared under the assault, struggling to hold up. "Evasive maneuvers," Jack commanded, steering the ship through a narrow gap between two massive rocks. The crew responded with precision, returning fire and maneuvering skillfully through the hazardous terrain. Explosions lit up the darkness as asteroids shattered under the barrage. Jack focused on outsmarting their pursuers, using the environment to their advantage. "Captain, their lead ship is targeting our engines," Sarah warned, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. Jack's mind raced. They needed a decisive move to turn the tide. "Prepare to launch a decoy probe. We'll make them think we're retreating, then hit them from behind." The plan was set into motion. The Endeavour released a probe emitting a powerful signal, drawing the pirates' attention. As the enemy ships shifted focus, Jack swung the Endeavour around a large asteroid, positioning them behind their adversaries. "Now!" Jack ordered. The ship's cannons unleashed a devastating salvo, catching the pirates off guard. Their lead ship erupted in flames, debris scattering into the void. The remaining enemy vessels faltered, disoriented by the sudden counterattack. Seizing the moment, Jack pressed the advantage. "Concentrate fire on their remaining ships. We need to end this now." The Endeavour's coordinated assault overwhelmed the pirates. One by one, their ships were disabled or destroyed, leaving the debris field littered with the wreckage of the enemy fleet. The crew cheered as the last pirate ship was neutralized, but Jack remained vigilant. "Secure the area and begin immediate repairs," Jack instructed. "We need to be ready for any further threats." As the crew worked to restore the Endeavour to full operational status, Jack reflected on the battle. They had narrowly escaped once again, but the constant threat was taking its toll. He knew they couldn't keep running forever. "Eliza, Jack said, turning to the scientist. We need a breakthrough with the spice, and we need it soon. Earth's survival depends on it. Dr. Harper nodded, determination in her eyes. We'll do everything we can, Captain. But we need more time. Jack looked out at the stars, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. Time is the one thing we don't have much of. Let's get to work. The Endeavour drifted quietly among the asteroids, the crew diligently working to repair the damage from the recent skirmish. Jack Morrison paced the bridge, his mind racing with plans and contingencies. The cosmic spice, with its potential to save Earth, had also attracted relentless threats. They needed a solution, and they needed it now. Captain, repairs are progressing well. We should be back to full operational status soon, Sarah reported, her tone both reassuring and weary. Jack nodded. Good. We can't afford any more setbacks. Eliza, any progress with the spice? Dr. Eliza Harper stepped forward, a tablet in hand. We've made some headway. We've managed to isolate the compounds that enhance cognitive and physical abilities while mitigating the more dangerous side effects. But we need a stable environment to conduct further tests. Jack's brow furrowed. We're running out of time and safe places. We need to make this work. Just then, the ship's alarms blared once more. Sarah's hands flew over the controls. Captain, we're picking up an enormous energy signature. It's a fleet of alien ships. They've found us again. Jack's heart sank. The pirates were more relentless than he had anticipated. All hands to battle stations. We need to hold them off until we can make a jump to a safer location. The crew braced for the impending confrontation. The alien fleet materialized on the view screen, a formidable array of warships closing in on the Endeavour. Jack knew their chances of survival were slim without a decisive action. As the pirate ships opened fire, the Endeavour shuddered under the barrage. The shields held, but only just. Return fire. Focus on their lead ship, Jack commanded. The battle raged, the asteroid field providing both cover and peril. The Endeavour weaved through the debris, evading enemy fire while launching counterattacks. Despite their best efforts, the enemy's numbers were overwhelming. Captain, we can't hold them off much longer, Sarah warned, her voice tight with urgency. Jack's mind raced. Desperation demanded bold moves. Prepare the cosmic spice for deployment, he ordered. Eliza's eyes widened. You can't be serious. We haven't fully tested its combat applications. Jack met her gaze, his expression resolute. It's our only chance. If we don't use it, we're finished. Reluctantly, Eliza and her team began preparing the spice. Moments later, a series of small canisters filled with the shimmering substance were ready. Jack addressed the crew. Listen up. We're deploying the spice directly into the enemy fleet. It's risky, but it might disrupt their coordination and give us the edge we need. The canisters were launched into space, dispersing their contents as they drifted towards the pirate ships. Within moments, the spice began to take effect. The alien ships faltered, their formations breaking as chaos erupted among their ranks. The Endeavour seized the opportunity. Target their engines and weapon systems, Jack ordered. The crew responded with precision, their attacks crippling the disoriented pirate ships. For a moment, it seemed they had gained the upper hand. But then, a massive alien dreadnought emerged from behind an asteroid, its weapons primed and aimed directly at the Endeavour. Captain, that ship's energy signature is off the charts. We can't take it head-on, Sarah warned. Jack's jaw clenched. They were out of options. He made a fateful decision. Prepare for a direct assault. We're going to board that dreadnought and disable it from within. The Endeavour maneuvered closer, evading the dreadnought's initial salvo. Jack led the boarding party, a mix of seasoned fighters and engineers, through the airlock and into the enemy ship. The corridors of the dreadnought were vast and labyrinthine, filled with hostile alien warriors. As they fought their way towards the ship's core, the spice's effects became increasingly apparent. The aliens, driven to madness, attacked with reckless abandon, making them unpredictable but also less coordinated. Jack's team reached the control room, where the Dreadnought's commander awaited. A towering figure with a menacing presence, the commander engaged Jack in a fierce duel. Blades clashed and sparks flew as they fought for control. "You're outmatched, human," the commander snarled, pressing his advantage. Jack, drawing on the spice-enhanced abilities, countered with a swift and decisive strike, disarming the alien and securing the control room. "Shut down their weapon systems," he ordered his team. With the Dreadnought neutralized, the remaining pirate ships retreated, unable to sustain their attack without their flagship. The Endeavor had won a critical victory, but the cost had been high. Back on their ship, Jack gathered his crew. "We've bought ourselves some time, but this isn't over. We need to find a way to use the spice safely and protect it from those who would misuse it."